My name's Kevin Holland. I'm a guitar player, electronic musician, amateur programmer, and do-it-yourself enthusiast, I guess. I've been putting out software and music under the SineCube name for about a decade or so. So all of this stuff is just, reprocessing the recordings that I've done, and I have it so that it can set up and choose random slices for me, so that I can improvise on top of it. And so I have a companion playing with me essentially, but it happens to be 8 versions of myself, that I'm playing along with. So on top of that, I sampled 41 different sounds from my bicycle, because I got a new bike and I love my bike. And so I just, different cable pings and snaps and things like that. And so all of the percussion that you hear in the background here is generated in real time. One of the things that always kind of, is a challenge about playing live with a laptop is the cliche is the guy's just up there, checking his email, browsing the web. So for me, it's really important to make sure that it's kind of transparent what I'm doing and you can see the live process. Learning synthesis, learning computer music allowed me to explore timbres and combinations of sound that traditional notation doesn't yet have a system for. This little gamepad USB controller can actually trigger some of the recordings of the guitar. So in that way, people can kind of play along. As we go, as I continue to improvise, whatever the audience member is triggering is going to change as well. So I want to give audiences that hear things that my performance is a reason to be there. I want to perform still. I don't want it to be just clicking play on a sound file and maybe remixing certain effects. I want it to be more of a live process so that they can actually see how the music's being created from start to finish. I hope people come out and enjoy the show. I'm looking forward to playing the show on May 6th, Frequency Friday. Allison's been great, very supportive of new artists in the community and supporting things that are a little bit different, a little bit off the beaten path. So I'm happy to be a part of it. I feel honored to be part of the crew.
My name is Rocco DiPietro, and I would just want to say a few words about the upcoming Fuse Factory concert. We're going to do two works. One will be Cornelius Cardews' The Great Learning, which will have some of my electronic music students performing and some of the players who are playing in other works of mine, one of them being Anthony Vine and Larry Murata. And the second work we're going to do is prison dirges. I'm going to have life stories, 4 female life stories, with an ensemble that improvises behind them, from the days when I was a habilitationist in prison. It's music behind a reading with male inmates reading the female stories. The reason for that is that women at that time in the 1990s were not allowed to read their own stories in prison, and also for their protection. Prison Dirges began in 1995 while I was in residence at the Headland Center in California, and I had time to reflect on. I was out there for a prison conference. So here's a composer involved in prisons, working in prisons, and this entire series, I collected life stories of prisoners for a number of years as a habilitation tool in order to get people to look at their essential condition. This is nothing like a life story. I compiled them, and then I put various sounds to them. It's a floating world of prison stories and sounds. And it's an evening length work, which I'll never hear in my lifetime, but I do it in little snippets.
Hi, I'm Anthony Vine. I'm a composer and musician in Columbus. The other work on the program is Cornelius Cardew's The Great Learning, which is a monumental work from his oeuvre. And we are doing paragraph 6 of The Great Learning. The Great Learning is sort of a structured improvisational piece where the performers are asked to perform on their instruments using graphic notation and other indeterminate type of devices, but are structured sometimes with time and in relation to other musical events. The paragraph 6 is different from the rest of the paragraphs in that people are reading down a page of instructions, asking them to respond to one another's improvisational gestures in different ways.
That takes you into a kind of meditative, deep listening music making, rather than a structured, beginning to end type music making, in which you have a beginning, a development, and an end. No, this is a series of requests by the composer that you take very mindfully, which is a different way of making music altogether.